everyone. So this week the professor talked about leadership and leading with influence, and brought up about power. So I wanted to touch a little bit on that. Of course, this week we talked a little bit about our books, and we gave kind of like a brief summary about the book and so forth. So of course we know that I'm reading the leadership book, Theory and Practice by Peter Norhaus. And it's interesting that Peter Norhaus has a section that is related to leadership and power. And in that section, he says that the concept of power is related to leadership because it's in part of the influence process. Power is the capacity or potential to influence. So people have power when they have the ability to affect others' beliefs, attitudes, and courses of action. Which kind of, when you think about it, it kind of sounds like, for me, when I first read it, it was kind of like manipulative a little bit, because when you manipulate somebody, you are kind of having that power over them. So before I even read on to the next part, he gets into leadership and coercion. But he says here that in organizations, there are two types of power: position power and personal power. So the position power is the power that a person derives from a particular office or rank. So just as the professor said, it has an influence capacity that the leader derives from having a higher status than the followers. When you talk about that personal power, it's the influence capacity of a leader that derives from being seen by the followers as likable and knowledgeable. So when I think about this, I think about, leaders that I've encountered and leaders that work with me currently today. And, I think that it's beneficial to utilize both sides of this power. And what I mean by that is the personal power and the positional power, because for me, I believe that your team works better for you when they respect you. So that respect kind of is your power there, because you have become, you've proven yourself to the team that you are knowledgeable and you are likable. However, in that same sense, you are in a position of power, that of the higher status, to where you can still kind of move that team in that direction that needs to be in, because of the position that you're in. But I feel that they both need each other as far as that influence goes. And a classic example of that would be, in the role that I'm currently in, I'm a program manager for a division. So I no longer have a team that directly reports to me. So I am in a position where I can use my position to make things happen. However, I've worked with a lot of the individuals in the division as far as on different projects that they're working on, different guidance that they need, have shown interest in the things that they're working on, have had their best interests at heart. So sometimes I can make things happen within the division from the teams that some leaders cannot. And so I'm able to use both parts of my role from a positional standpoint and from a personal standpoint to get actions and goals and objectives completed. And really, that's something that Norton touches on. He says that, power should be used by leaders and by followers to promote their collective goals. So that's just my take on it. I hope everyone has a great week, and I will talk to you next week.